Hey guys, it's Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be playing with a new to me foil transfer gel here from Daily Charme. And foils are a really great way to add some beautiful and impressive looking nail art without a lot of effort, so long as a foil transfer gel works. So we're going to be playing with this one today and see how it works for us. I've got kind of a pinky, mauvey, neutrally soft marble going on. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and I will share my thoughts with you about how this foil transfer gel works for me. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around. We're getting into it. So this is the first foil transfer video you've seen on my channel, and that's not because I haven't tried them before. Actually, a couple years ago when I really got back into nails, that was one of the first things I reached for. And you'll see even one of my earliest sets on my Instagram was with a foil transfer, but it's kind of one of those things where unless you find a really good transfer gel, if you're somebody who's a perfectionist like me, they can just be kind of frustrating because it seems like you never get that perfect transfer. And if you're somebody who like really gets focused on the details and you see a patchy bit here or a wrinkly bit there, it can kind of irritate you. So, you know, the perfectionist in me just gave up on them pretty quickly. But I've actually tried quite a few foil gels over the last couple of years, and I have some thoughts that I'm going to share with you and a few tips and tricks as well. But I wanted to try this one out because I've seen such rave reviews about it, and I really just want to find a foil transfer gel that I love because I really would like to get back to using some of these gorgeous foils, but I gotta have one that really works. So I'm hoping this one is going to fill the bill for me. So I'm going to show you everything I've gathered here. You're going to need some of these similar products in order to do the foil transfer, but you don't have to have these specific ones. This is just what I'm going to be using today. So anytime you're working with gels, you're going to want to use a gel base coat. Even if the bottle says you don't need one, use the base coat. So I don't have either of the ones from Daily Charme. All they have is a rubber base coat and a peel off base coat, and I just wanted a plain old base coat. So I'm just using West Coast Tips base coat, but any base coat will do. And then of course you're going to need a foil transfer gel. So again, the one I'm trying out today is from Daily Charme. I have tried quite a few others, which I will share with you as we get into the mani, but I'm trying this one today. And then I also have their Diamond Shine Gel Top Coat, which I picked up during their sale to try out because I know we were curious to see if it was really that big of a difference than some of the less expensive options. So I'll be sharing my thoughts with you on this one today. And then of course you're going to need a nail color. So the one I'm going to be using today is Vintage Lace, and this has quickly become a favorite. I don't know how to describe this color. It's so unique. It's kind of one part, mauve, one part pink, one part white, one part gray. You just kind of mix all those kind of tones together, and this is the color you get, and it's just super beautiful. Now when you're picking out your nail color, it's best, even if you're not going to use the same nail color on all of your nails, you want to pick something that has some similar tones to what is in your actual nail foil. And the reason for that is that this can kind of disguise any kind of boo-boos or any kind of mistakes, any missing pieces that will really help things out. So this is not like a water slide. You don't need to use a clear or white unless your foil actually has some clear bits in it, then you'll have to choose more wisely there. But if you have a fully opaque foil, you actually want to choose a nail color to put underneath it that is similar in tone so that it can help disguise any kind of missing pieces or any kind of defects. So this foil here is also from Daily Charme. I believe it's called Pink Marble. I'll have all this stuff linked for you down in the box, but to me it runs more like mauve, but in any case, it definitely is similar to the tones that I have in this gel polish, so these two will work well together. So obviously you can apply foils on anything. You can use it over a builder gel, you can use it over your natural nails, you can use it over, pretty much anything. I'm using tips here. So I have on the Nails Cat Medium Almond. I have some thoughts about these. I actually really like these. I think the shape is beautiful, but I had a bit of an issue with the thumbs, so I actually have already removed these. But as far as the shape itself and like the application, I thought they looked really nice, and I do like this medium almond shape on me, so I'm gonna have to revisit it, but I'm gonna have to sort out the thumb issue first. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna be using today. So I'm going to be doing a similar process on all the nails. Obviously, I'm going to start with a gel base coat on all of them, so I have that foundation there. But I'm going to vary up the foil nails just a little bit. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply one layer of the color on the foil nails, and I'm going to apply 2 layers of color on the non-foiled nails. And the reason for that is I really don't need like a super opaque background for the foil because the foil is really going to be doing most of the work for me. It's just kind of there to kind of help it disguise any issues. But as far as like wanting full opacity, you can almost get it in one coat with this color, but I really do feel like two coats will definitely give you full opacity and that full coverage that I want, especially with clear tips. So I know you guys have heard me talk about it before, but I've quickly become a huge fan of Daily Charme's gel nail formula, despite the fact that I really don't want to be because they're not cheap. These run regular price $18 a bottle, which I think is just crazy. But you know, they had some sales. At one point, the gel polishes were 40% off, so you know I bought a whole bunch. I don't want to like them because they're that expensive, but I have to admit that I really do. This formula is gorgeous. It's super smooth, it's easy to apply, it self levels at a medium pace, which actually works out pretty well. And you know, most of these colors you can get perfect coverage in 1 to 2 coats, so it just makes it so quick and easy and user friendly. So I'm not saying you need to buy $18 polishes. I can definitely recommend you guys a lot of less expensive options if you don't want to spend that or you can't spend that. I totally get it. So I'm not trying to get you to go buy up all these $18 polishes like I did. But if you see a color or two that you really want to try, I definitely would recommend these polishes, particularly if they're perfect white and perfect black. They really are perfect. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually just going around the edge of the nail and just, you know, any kind of areas where it's not like perfectly straight, where I need to fix my line and the brush in the bottle is a little bit too big and bulky for those areas. I'll kind of just go around with a 9mm liner brush and just kind of clean up those shapes. That may be a bit of a type A perfectionist kind of thing, but you know, what can I say? I am what I am. I definitely will be looking at those things even if other people aren't. All right, so 1 coat done. We're curing that one. You gotta admit, it looks pretty impressive even after 1 coat. I feel like you could almost get away with it, but I do see a tiny bit of patching with just 1 coat. So on these 2 nails that I will not be putting the foil on, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a 2nd coat. So since I'm done with these nails, I'm going to go ahead and finish these up with the top coat. That way I don't have to worry about getting lint on them or anything else kind of smudging on them while I'm working on the foil nails. So let me tell you about this top coat. I think it's beautiful. I love it. It's fantastic. Do I think you need a $22 top coat? No, no, I don't think so. If I was going to compare this, I would say this is kind of like a cross between like West Coast Dips Quartz Ultra Shine top coat and then the Vivid Glam. So it's a little bit slower to self level than the West Coast Dips, but not quite as long to self level as the Vivid Glam. And I would definitely consider this a medium consistency top coat. So it's not super thin, it's more medium, and it actually held up pretty well. I ended up wearing this mani for a week. So do I love it? Yes. Do I think you need it? No. But if you want to try it or you're getting it on sale or you got a gift card, I definitely would recommend it. So as you can see, I did go ahead and cut out a small piece of the foil. You don't want to have the whole foil sheet kind of laying around where you're working. So just cut off a small piece that you like the looks of. And when you're applying your foil gel, you want to apply it in a pretty generous layer. You don't want it really thick and gloopy, but you don't want it so thin that it kind of gets streaky and patches. So give it a good healthy layer, and I do like to work 1 nail at a time. That way you can ensure you're getting the best adhesion and you're getting consistency across the board with the foil application. So I'm curing this according to the instructions on the bottle, which I can't remember. I'll put a note for you down below how long it was. But I really just follow the instructions on the bottle, which usually I can't do with foil gels. It just doesn't work very well. Now it's interesting, on their Instagram they have a different set of instructions, but I just use what was on the bottle and you'll see it works pretty well for me. So once I popped that out of the lamp, I did not wait for it to cool or do anything weird with it. I just went right in with my foil and started to apply it. If you want to try foils, I actually recommend starting with something like this, something more marbly or abstract, something where it won't be super obvious if you don't get the most perfect application, which is why I went with this, because I was going to have to go for my new job, my first week of my new job. And it was already a gamble, like trying something new during that week. I wanted to have a, a nice, pretty, like professional looking set of nails, but I didn't want to have like a foil on here that it was going to be obvious if it didn't apply very well. So this was kind of like a way for me to try it without like taking too big of a gamble here. But yeah, you can see I was able to get it to stick on there pretty easily on the middle of the nail. When I'm working on my own nail, it's going to be a little bit different than working on somebody else's. I actually think it's easier to apply foils than somebody else. But if I'm working on myself, I'll kind of like gently tack it down in the middle and then start working side to side. And you can see I prefer just to use the edge of my nail just to kind of like rub it on there and kind of, scrape it onto the nail. You can obviously use, a cuticle pusher. You can use, a silicone tool, pretty much any kind of tool that you prefer. But you just want to kind of keep rubbing it until you can kind of, you can already see there that the actual design is starting to transfer onto my nail. You'll know because you'll see kind of the clear paper like around it coming up, and that's how you know the design got transferred. So here's some of the things you can do for foil transfers. Let me start by saying that I've tried quite a few. I've tried eye gels, I tried Sparkle and Co's. I also tried Macart. That one was the one that I had the most success with, but even it didn't work quite as well. I'm gonna spoil it and say it didn't work quite as well as this one. This one definitely is the easiest foil gel I've ever used. I had so few issues. I'm really excited about it because I do love a foil, and I think you can get some amazing designs in foils that I think would be difficult, or at least for me, more challenging to hand paint. So, I'm really excited about the idea of them, but if the foil transfer gel doesn't work, then it just ends up becoming a huge mess, a huge frustration. So I'm excited to keep playing with this one because so far I have never had a foil gel work this well for me right out the gate. So this is one of those things that, yes, I think it's 22 or 25, I can't remember. It's not cheap, guys, but if it's gonna work for me and I'm gonna get use out of it, then it's worth the investment for me. So all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off, and you can see we got, pretty good transfer here. Now you can kind of just pull it up a little bit at a time, and as you pull it up, if you see a spot missing, just tack it back down and scrape it a little bit more until you get that full transfer. But yeah, I was very impressed with the transfer on this one. It was pretty beautiful. I'm not gonna say it's perfect. I don't think I've ever had 100% perfect foil transfer, but it's pretty darn close. I was very, very happy with this. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can try to kind of help your nail foils, and people will give you different advice no matter who you ask. Some will say let it cool, some will say cure it for X amount of time, cure it for this amount of time. Some will say do reverse foiling, which I have done that, by the way, and it works. If you have the Macart one, I might suggest trying that. I can do a video on reverse foiling if y'all want to see it, but to me it kind of makes the nail look a little thicker and lumpier than if I just directly transfer it onto the nail, but that's an option as well. I mean, there are all kinds of suggestions people will give you, and here's the thing with that. I just don't feel like there's one like be all end all, this will always make your foils work. I can't give you the this is 100% how to make your foils work perfectly every time, because there's just too many variables, the formula, the foils. I mean, there's a lot of the curing time, your environment, your nails. I mean, there's just so many variables. So let me interrupt that thought for a minute. I am finishing this up now with a layer of gel base and a layer of gel top. Now, of course, you don't have to do a layer of gel base. Why do I add another layer of gel base before the top coat? It just gives a bit more of a chance to make sure I've got full coverage over that entire foil, so none of that foil chips or peels off. And also I feel like it goes a long way in kind of smoothing everything out and kind of helping to disguise any of the imperfections. So I like to put a layer of gel base over top before putting the top coat over on top of the foils, but that's completely optional. You can just use a top coat. Okay, so yeah, I got off on a bit of a tangent there, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I've pretty much tried it all, and I just can't tell you that there's like a perfect solution that will work for you every time. And what works for somebody else, unfortunately, it's not going to guarantee that it's going to work for you either, because let me tell you, I've gotten so much advice on foils over the year, and none of it's really worked for me. But if I can just get a product out of the bottle, follow the directions, and it works this well, that's all I was really hoping to find, and that's really what I found in this one. So I guess what I'm saying is if you want to try one and you don't want to invest in this one, probably my best suggestion would be the Macart foil glue. And I really feel like that's one worth trying. You might get better transfer than I did. I'm not, out of all the ones I've tried, it's probably the second best. So if I didn't have this one, I would probably use that one. But yeah, I can't say that it transferred quite as well as this one. To me, this one is a little bit more superior. So yeah, I think I blathered on and on about that, but I'm hoping that's giving you an idea of how I feel about this one. It's a really, really good foil gel. I do think it's worth the investment. Again, can I promise that it's going to work for you as well as it has for me? No, I can't promise that, but all I can tell you is that of all the ones I've tried, this is the one that has worked the best for me and has been the easiest to apply. So really happy I got this. I'm excited to keep playing with this and trying out other foils. Again, as far as the top coat goes, it's beautiful. Will I use it 100%? Do I love it? Yes, I do. Do I think it's an absolute necessity? No. I think if you want some cheaper options, I would recommend the Model ones top coat on Amazon. And then also I would recommend, of course, the West Coast Dips Quartz Ultra Shine top coat. I haven't tried their HEMA free, but their regular top coat is great. And then I'm really getting into the Vivid Glam top coat, which does take a little bit longer to self level and is a little bit more on like the thicker side, but it's really, really beautiful. Nice shine and it holds up quite a long time. So those are the ones that I would recommend if you don't want to invest in this one. But yeah, a lot of products I feel like from Daily Charme, I feel like you could take or leave, and this is one I think you could leave. But the foil gel, yeah, if I was going to recommend one thing from this video, I would absolutely recommend this foil gel and give it a try. All right, guys, so here are both hands finished, and I am so happy with how this turned out. I think it's gorgeous. This is absolutely a mani of my alley, and I love the color scheme and the marble. It all is really working for me. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up now with some cuticle oil here. I'm going to be using Scales of a Mermaid cuticle oil in Sweet Cravings. So this is a bit of an older scent. I haven't pulled it out in a while, but it just seemed to really kind of go with the vibe of this mani, which was, you know, soft and sweet. So it smells like cake. That's what it smells like. And for some reason, which I can't describe, it almost has a hint of a strawberry smell to me, but that's not the scent note. So I don't know if my sniffer's just broken or what, but either way, I love this scent. It's beautiful. It's a really lovely, like kind of a gourmet scent. If you're somebody who likes gourmand scents, I think you would like this one. It's definitely a cake type of scent. So that's both hands finished. So I have to tell you, I feel like the one I did with my non-dominant hand turned out even better, which usually isn't the case. So if you're somebody who really likes the idea of nail art, but you feel like you just can't do it with your non-dominant hand, then I think you'd really like foils, because you're going to get that beautiful kind of impressive look of nail art without having to try to struggle to apply it with your non-dominant hand. So yeah, I ended up wearing this mani all through the work week, and I felt very professional, you know, very glam, but also, you know, not too overstated. Like, I'm not going up in there with full glitter and like sparkles. I wanted to keep it kind of soft and pretty for the first week. And for those of you guys who are wondering, it did go well. It's definitely going to be a learning process, so I can't really, you know, say for sure that it's going to be sunshine and roses all the way from this point forward, but the first week went really well. So I'm really excited to see what the next couple months bring and see how things go. And by the way, thank you guys for all your advice on working from home. And some of you guys even sent me some product links, which I purchased. And so far, like, my home setup is going very, very well. So thank you guys for that. All right, guys, so I think that wraps up my thoughts. I think you can see how much I'm really enjoying this foil. I'm excited to continue playing with it. Of course, I love a lot of their products, and I do think they're worth the expense if you want to invest in them. If you don't, I definitely have tons of lesser expensive options for you. And if you want to try the foil gel, but you can't quite swing the price tag on this one, definitely give them a cart one a try. I think it's probably your next best bet. All right, guys, so that is going to complete this video. So I hope you did enjoy it and find it helpful. If you did, it would help me out so much if you would give me a thumbs up down below. And while you're there, if you've not subscribed already, I hope you will consider subscribing before you go. And don't forget that notification bell. We got new content coming every Tuesday and Friday at 2 p.m. Central. As always, guys, thank you so much for taking time in your day to spend it with me. You know, I appreciate it so much. I love you guys to pieces. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.